This is the Jack Murphy Podcast. Here's your host, Jack Murphy.
Welcome back to another episode of the Jack Murphy Podcast. I'm here with the world-famous actor Alpha Trivette, he's on the road. He was on the road. He was home for Thanksgiving, but he's on the road in a remote location this morning, and he's joining us via the magic of the interwebs. And you're up in Virginia, right?
I'm up in Virginia at a undisclosed location.
Now, Alpha, let me ask you, what do you Virginia Tech fans do during the college football playoffs?
Well, we watch the Bulldogs, apparently.
Well, I don't know. We'll have to see how we do Saturday. We got Alabama this Saturday. It amazes me. I'm trying to make myself a student of these podcasts because I'm putting in a lot of work, putting a lot of energy into making this podcast every day. I mean, there's prep, there's research. It may not sound like it, but there is. There's recording, there's editing, there's posting, there's keywords and hashtags. I go on YouTube and I see these guys who do nothing but talk about college football, and their podcast is 2 years old and they have 700,000 subscribers. And I go, I'm doing something wrong. And I watched a few of them, and all they're doing is bullshitting about the college football. That's all they do is that, and this week watching a bunch of them, it's just hilarious how many different opinions there are about who should be in the college football playoffs.
Well, I'm sure there were lots of opinions, too, about Lane Kiffin going from Ole Miss to LSU.
Yeah, we my cousin Daniel was here yesterday, and we spent probably 30 minutes talking about Lane Kiffin and how quickly they will turn on you. Lane, I told Daniel, I said, if I were Lane, I would have called LSU and said, hey, look, I'm going to drive about 40 miles down the road. Let's have the plane land at that little airport outside town and pick me up because, boy, it got ugly at the airport. They were, flipping him off and everything. But the big discussion right now seems to be Miami and Texas. That's who you hear a lot about is what's going to happen with Miami and Texas. And Texas, I hadn't thought about this, but they did something pretty brave. They had a non-conference game and they went to Ohio State, the first game of the season. Probably not a good idea. But so a lot of the pundits are saying that shouldn't count against them. But
if they had gone to Wofford, or had Wofford come to Austin and they won 77-0, wouldn't have helped them, I don't think. But you go into the teeth of the lion in the horseshoe, and it's a little different.
Yeah, it's a different world, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of stuff going on besides college football. We're all excited about that. Of course, the Dogs play Alabama Saturday, 3:30.
Dogs
for the SEC championship, and I think both teams are going to be there regardless of the outcome of that game because of the strength of schedule and the ranking and so forth. So we'll see.
Well, the team that's going to throw a monkey wrench in the whole thing will be Duke if they happen to beat Virginia in the ACC championship. Then you got a 4-loss team?
Yeah. Is there anything more pathetic right now? I said this yesterday, but really, and I'm not trying to be insulting to people, but the ACC is a real embarrassment this year.
Yeah.
I mean, you got teams with a lot of losses that could be going to the college football playoff who don't have a prayer. Let's be honest.
And you had teams that were looking amazing and then wind up down the stretch like Georgia Tech getting hell beat from them by Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they knock each other out. And so, it's not the strongest football conference.
Now, are you familiar with what's going on up in Virginia with this high school coach that's missing? Have you been following that story?
Peripherally, I'm not, it's out in Wise County, which is in Southwest Virginia. And I guess he was a successful coach. And
Yeah,
I guess
my cousin has really been close to it because he's a big football fan, and they were going to play in like the state championship. They were, I think, undefeated. He's a very successful coach, and they found a bunch of child pornography on his computers. And and my cousin said, and he's missing. And I said, well, he's dead. He probably walked out in the woods somewhere and shot himself because he knows his life's over. I mean, he's never going to coach again. He's never going to be in a school again. When it's a high-profile person like this, they usually commit suicide. And this morning, the last known contact the family had with Travis Turner, that's the guy's name, was on Thursday, November 20th. He left his residence to walk in the woods with a firearm.
Okay.
So, there's bears, all kind of stuff in the woods in Virginia, so if at first they didn't look in the right place, he could have gotten drugged, or he may have, who knows, but he's dead.
Scattered all over the Appalachians.
Chances are he's dead, and it's just terrible that
horrible situation all around.
Yeah, for his family and his team. Can you imagine being on the football team? Where's the coach? He's got some child porn on his computer, and he's not going to be at this game. I think he's going to be in any games. I saw something yesterday. Let me get your opinion on this, Alpha. This is the new dilemma. So there was, I think this guy was like, he's either a professor or an adjunct professor at some small college somewhere, and they found a bunch of child pornography on his computer. However, it wasn't real. It was AI generated. Now, how do you handle that? There's no victim.
It was his, but it was AI generated. Wow.
It was AI generated kiddie porn. These are some of the problems that we're going to be getting into. When your power bill doubles because of that data center that opened in your neighborhood, and you find out that the college professor is producing fake kiddie porn with the artificial intelligence, it's probably going to piss you off pretty bad.
Yeah, so the question becomes, is artificial
morally
kiddie porn, is that really an offense? Because the argument can be that no child is actually being harmed.
Yes, a victimless crime. My opinion of it is, morally, he's got to go because he has a propensity for that type of thing. Legally, I'm not sure that they can charge him or do anything about it, but I wouldn't want him near a school where there were young people.
He is certainly feeding a perversion of his that does not bode well for his judgment.
So this is also where we start talking about AI regulation. Why is AI making kiddie porn?
Right.
I mean, shouldn't there be some sort of governor on the AI so that doesn't happen? I mean, because now people are going to start making snuff movies. They can do anything on it.
Well, an even simpler argument there is the family that's suing because their son was
committed
communicating
suicide
with a chatbot. And
I've been following that Chat GPT thing.
Yeah, encouraged him to commit suicide.
Now, to me, that's a lot different. That's a more cut and dried, open and shut case of the entity, the AI entity or agent did that. But it seems to me they could put some simple filters on the AI when we start talking about kiddie porn or porn in general. Should we be wasting power and data centers to make porn? No. Let's let this technology be used for the good of mankind, not the further detriment of mankind.
Yeah,
Let's solve medical problems, math problems, engineering problems, and let's not make kiddie porn and snuff films.
At the very least, there ought to be some way to watermark uh, anything that's AI. So when you look at it, you go, okay, I understand that's not real. It's
I
somebody's
hadn't thought
generated
about that. That is a great idea. Why is did you just come up with that on your own?
Well, I claim it for right now.
Well, I haven't heard that yet, but I think that's a great idea that, unless you paid money to go into a theater or something and watch a motion picture where, we expect CGI or AI or whatever. But anything else that's AI, let's have a little symbol, a little watermark or something.
But even at that, if it is a theatrical presentation, there ought to be something in the credits that say CGI provided by so-and-so,
Yeah.
and you look at it and go, I wonder if that's CGI. Yeah, it probably is. So,
yep, you're probably right. That's a good idea. I'm gonna push your idea. I'm gonna call my senator when I get off the podcast, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, a guy named Alpha Trivette. He's an actor, so I know it's hard to take him seriously, but he's got a damn good idea." Two brothers in the Netherlands, which, Europe has become more and more Islamic as every day goes by.
Yeah.
Two brothers in the Netherlands are on trial for the alleged honor killing of their Syrian teenage sister when her family accused her of living a too Western lifestyle. So, it wasn't like they caught her having sex or something like that. Just she was getting a little too Western.
Too westernized.
And so her two brothers took her out to a river and tied her up and tied rocks to her and threw her in the river.
And drowned her. Yeah.
The father had already fled back. What a coward a-hole he is. He leaves the honor killing to the sons, and he flees back to Syria, where he knows he, can't be extradited from.
It's awfully hard to make a point that you are a peaceful, loving religion when you're willing to kill your own offspring because they've embarrassed you.
So the two brothers, one's 25 and one's 23, and it was their younger sister. I just, as a human being, I just don't understand how you could do that. Anything like it. Now, I was watching, I think I was on Instagram last night, and I saw a video, and this guy does this all the time. He is one brave man, and it's always turned out well for him so far, but he goes places that, most people would think, God, I would never go there. Right. He goes to Somalia. He goes to Iraq. He goes to Libya. He goes to Yemen, and he goes out into, neighborhoods and talks to these people. And everything seems pretty normal at first when you watch these interviews he does. And then he got in a car with a guide. I think the guy was just a taxi driver. And listen to what this taxi driver told him.
But killing a woman over that seems extreme.
Until the night of the wedding, okay? This is very crucial thing, okay? And sometimes when you meet your first wife, after you sleep with her, and of course you find her like she's supposed to be a virgin, and then you call her family and say, well, she's okay, she's good, okay? She's virgin, okay? And that's also because if she's not...
You mean you have to report to her family whether or not she's a virgin?
Oh yes. Sometimes they wait for her outside the house.
To make sure that...
she's virgin, okay? If she's not, she will bring a lot of shame to her family.
Right.
Okay? And that's not acceptable. Sometimes she gets...
Okay? In Libya still?
Oh yes.
Still today?
Oh yes.
If they're not a virgin, they'll still be today?
Oh yes, today, yes.
Do that, not the husband.
But not in Tripoli, in the rural area.
And a lot of families are still the same. This is something very
controversial.
Yeah, it's not controversial. It's must. If she's a virgin, okay. If she's not, why? Who? The man, and so on.
But A woman over that seems extreme.
Well, that's the way. This is the custom.
Yeah, El Shababi. Listen, I'm over here with your daughter, and we just got through with our honeymoon, night thing, and well, now she's I'm not sure she's a virgin. Oh, you're outside now? I'm gonna send her out. All right, see you later. I mean, it's Libya. They're living in the 6th century.
Yeah, exactly. We are different. We are different cultures, and that culture is not compatible with Western civilization.
It's a
and
death
Western
cult.
culture.
I mean, if you go back and look at ancient Jewish customs and practices, a woman would not be stoned for that. And if she was caught in adultery, both her and the man could be stoned. But in Christianity, none of that is true.
There was an imam speaking in a group. I don't know where it was, and a woman stood up and said, "Well, if you die and go to heaven, you get 72 virgins.
What do I get?
If we die and go to heaven, what do we get?" And
I actually saw that, and he said, and here's what he did: he stole a scripture from the New Testament that was something that Paul had written.
Yeah.
And it was that no eye has seen, no ear has heard what God has prepared for those who love him. And that was the answer the Islamic Imam gave to this woman. In other words, you may wind up being one of these guys' 72 virgins that he deflowers every single day.
Right.
But he's prepared something that you haven't seen or heard. Yeah, no woman has seen or heard that either.
Yeah.
Being one of 72 virgins that gets deflowered every day.
Yeah, I don't know that there's 72 virgins to go around for all the guys.
You know what? Think about that. That I've heard that brought up too. Is that where are all these women going to come from? And we're talking about a deflowering every 30 minutes of every hour of every day for eternity.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the math gets pretty crazy.
Yeah, he better be guzzling his monster drinks, man.
Yeah, he better have some heavenly Viagra or something. So
yeah,
but yeah, it's a death cult,
and they're all beautiful virgins too.
Oh yeah,
you don't get an ugly virgin.
So I don't know what happens to the unattractive Islamic women.
Hey, call the police.
Alpha, let me ask you, are you a fan of Johnny Cash, the man in black?
I have always been a fan of Johnny Cash.
Well, his family, the estate of Johnny Cash, is suing Coca-Cola.
Ah.
Big lawsuit filed by the Cash estate against Coca-Cola saying, I went ahead and watched it this morning. I'm not going to play it here on the podcast because I'm pretty sure I'd get a copyright strike from YouTube if I played it. But I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it's it's not Johnny Cash singing, but the guy does sound an awfully lot like Johnny Cash.
And do they give the impression that it is Johnny Cash? They don't say it's not.
They don't say it's not, and his voice is so unique that one might automatically assume that it was him. And the song is not a Johnny Cash song either. They kind of went out of their way to protect themselves. It's not a Johnny Cash song. Anyway, the suit was filed in Tennessee under what is called the new, no, I hadn't heard of this, the new Elvis Act.
The Elvis Act. Okay.
Yeah, it protects a person's voice from being used without permission. A lawyer for the estate wrote that Coca-Cola is pirating Johnny Cash's voice in a nationwide ad campaign. They called it theft of integrity, identity, and humanity, and they want damages.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see how that comes out. Because that
same kind of thing applies to AI. If you do an AI version of Johnny Cash.
Right.
You know?
And now I see a lot of these SAG-AFTRA leaders are jumping up and down screaming about AI. And now I think they see now that, hey, it's here. It ain't going away. So now they're trying to make deals so that people get compensated properly when AI versions of them are being used.
Right. But then the question becomes, can the AI actor get compensated? There is an image of a person named Tilly, and Tilly is supposed to be an actress, and they're going, well, who do you pay for Tilly's residuals? How does Tilly get paid for anything?
I don't think Tilly gets
Tilly?
paid. I don't think, and I think the company that created Tilly for them, that AI company, gets paid, but Tilly is a non-entity. Now, if Tilly were a robot, I know that there are some real fringe left-wing liberal kooks out there who are already talking about civil rights for humanoid robots.
Right.
As they don't want any Stepford wife situations going on out there.
And face it, that's why we're doing this.
Yes, that's
why
the only reason
robots.
we're doing this.
Yes, to have sex bots.
Exactly. We want sex bots that clean the house around the clock when we're out playing golf, and then they're eager to greet us with their pleasures.
Very eager to please.
Exactly. That's all these men out in Silicon Valley. That's the whole reason for this AI thing.
Yeah. But, while we're talking about Tennessee, a big election going on in Nashville today.
Oh, yeah. Today, I didn't know it was
seats.
today, but it's going to be interesting to see if that woman who hates Nashville wins the election. We'll see.
Yeah. She says
it's so funny. Did you see her? She did a video, it's probably been 10 days or so ago now, where she's in her car doing an Instagram or something, and she goes, now the Republicans are trying to create a narrative where I, the representative of Nashville, they're trying to say I don't like it. And then it cuts to her going, I have come to hate this city.
Right.
The bachelorette parties, the country music, the bars, everything that makes Nashville, Nashville.
Yeah.
She hates
Her name's Afton Bain, and she has professed her disdain for Nashville and country music, and pretty much everything about it.
Her name screams liberal.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, she's talked about defunding police, and now she says, well, that was back during the George Floyd things, and I was younger then. I'm much more mature now, but she never got to answer the question: is she still for defunding police? And she's also
the big question is, does she think math is racist?
Okay, quickly, so I misunderstand. Are we saying that 2 + 2, if you say it's 4, that's racist? I mean, that sounds like we may be mischaracterizing it. What, if you can quickly sum it up?
No, that's not mischaracterizing it at all. Math is basically racist under this ideology because it says there is no such thing as an objective reality. So 4 might not be the right number. 2 + 2 might actually equal 5.
There you go.
What?
That's who's teaching your children at the elementary school in her district in Nashville, probably somebody like that.
Yeah. Now that is a district that Trump carried by 20 points. The predecessor in that is a Republican. He won by over 20 points. However, the polls are saying it's within the margin of error, and so what will have to happen is Republicans better turn out in this off-year election to vote.
I don't know about you, but I don't believe any poll from anybody on any subject anymore. I don't trust any of them. I've just seen them be so wildly wrong over and over and over, and they seem to be now. You go out you pick your poll, you go to the school that you think might have the result you want. And it just becomes a talking point on CNN or MSNB, whatever it is. What is it now? MS
Now.
MS Now, or Fox News, or your local. It just becomes a talking point for them well, we don't know how it is, but there's a poll out today, and then you can get 5 guests on to talk about the poll, and it's all a bunch of horse shit. It means nothing.
Who conducted the poll? Fred over there. Did the poll.
I mean, they'll say, well, this poll is, and they'll have some college you've never heard of in your life. I mean, nobody. You've never met any. I don't even know if they're real. They may be making up the colleges and the poll for all I know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, anyway, it's going to be a big day in Nashville. So
we'll see. We'll let you know the outcome tomorrow if you don't already know.
What does that say? Who the hell is shits? Creepy shits? Oh. What does that say? Creepy shits? Creepy shits? Creepy shits?
This guy in California, Altadena. Now that's Altadena, California. That's close to where that area really got burned really badly during the Palisades fire. I recognize the name of that town, Altadena. But that's the thing about California. I mean, out where I lived in Ramona, the last time I lived in California, we had mountain lions. They would deny it, but I used to see the tracks. We used to hike up in the hills, and we'd see the tracks. I mean, there's no bobcats that have, footprints this big, and I used to see
no house
them.
cat there, yeah.
Yeah, and we had big mule deer, lots of bobcats, tons of coyotes, and everything else. But this guy in Altadena, he had a 500-pound black bear that moved into the crawl space under his house. He said he kept hearing noises, bumping into stuff under his house, and it was around the side of his house. There were some bushes. He said, I get down there, and there's some bricks torn out, and it's kind of dug out. And he goes, I got a flashlight. I looked up there. He goes, and there's this gigantic bear staring back at me. Now, this is in a subdivision. I mean, he's not out in the boonies. This is in a freaking subdivision.
So who do you call when you got a bear under your house?
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I guess the bear, he said, sometimes I'd look and he wouldn't be there. I guess he was going out at night and coming back, in the morning or whatever. It's like he worked a third shift, this bear. That's when the best garbage was out there. So anyway, occasionally local news does something good and something funny, and this is one of those cases. So the local LA TV station, they send a reporter out to cover this story. It's pretty funny.
Now at 5:30, an Altadena homeowner finds himself living with a very unwelcome and very large roommate.
It's huge.
Turns out a massive bear has settled into the crawl space of an Altadena home, getting way too cozy for comfort.
Jillian Smuckler now shows us what the homeowner is up against.
The
Jillian
Altadena
Schmuckler
man set up a home security camera right outside this crawl space right here because you can see that brick. That's just one of many items he noticed was moved and then even destroyed. So you can imagine his surprise when he saw a 500-pound black bear living right under his home. It started Monday night when Ken Johnson's outdoor camera picked up movement in the driveway.
It was really big. I've seen him before, but he was going through the trash. He's never done that before. And then the next morning I look, and he's coming out from underneath my house.
Since then, the bear hasn't just visited, it's moved in. Ken says he sees it every day on camera, slipping in and out like he owns the place. But on Friday, things turned a little too close for comfort.
So I had to go around and change the batteries. So I went around there and I just glanced at the hole from standing up, and I heard this horrible growl, like with a hiss, and I just ran.
Ken's now living on edge, unsure when this uninvited house guest will pop up next. So naturally, I asked if we could go see it.
I see it. I see it. I see it.
Do you see the bear?
Yes, I see it.
Yeah.
Ken, are you okay?
You coming? I dropped my glasses.
No.
Where does animal control when you need them?
I'm gonna
Listen, Dame.
I'm gonna pee my pants.
He says it's unsettling knowing he's sharing a property with a 500-pound bear living just feet below him.
And it looked like a monster because the eyes are like close together and then this big wide head, and I wasn't even sure what I was looking at.
I mean, why hasn't he called animal control or something? Because that could turn dangerous, pretty quickly. I mean, there are people have been attacked and killed by him. I mean, up in, I go up to Boone and Blowing Rock up there in the mountains sometimes, and you rent these condos, and all the garbage cans are underground. They have, they're like sunk into the ground. They have metal lids that lock, and it's specifically so that the bears, they'll come up there and try to get in them, but if they don't get fed, they don't come back and keep trying. But once they get a little taste of food, like that guy's garbage cans, like that bear, 500 pounds, he's probably just living off the garbage he pulls out of people's trash cans. And one night you go out there to put a bag in and meet him at the wrong time, and you're toast.
Hey, boo-boo. Yeah. But that bear, you had to, as he was squeezing through that hole, he had to be thinking, man, I better get some Ozempic or something here. This is a little tight.
Well, it's just like, for him, it's just like a cave he would live in, out in the woods, I guess.
Yeah. It was his den.
One final thing I want to get to is the story going on in Minnesota.
Oh.
Again, folks, it looked like the good Lord really helped us dodge a bullet. You may not like the president we have now. You may not like a lot. There's a lot of things that Trump does I don't like. I'll go ahead and say it. There's a lot of stuff about him personally I don't like. But we really dodged a bullet because Tim Walz has got so much fraud going on in his state that it's unbelievable. And now, you have to remember this is a very left-wing, liberal, Democratic state, the state of Minnesota. And the employees of the state, they're about as left-wing Democrat as you can get. They're all union people, and that's fine. That's what they want there. But they have totally turned on him, and they said, hey, we warned the Harris campaign about Tim Walz and what a terrible administrator he was and how many awful fraud things were going on here and that she really needed to be aware of it before the S hit the fan because it was going to. And then once it was pointed out to him, apparently over and over, these state employees were notifying him that, hey, these programs are just huge scams. These people are just these Somali people are stealing the money. And instead of investigating and fixing it, he retaliated against the whistleblowers.
Right. Yeah.
And I just saw him on television a couple of days ago. But, well, I mean, sure. I mean, every state, and then there's going to be people go to jail. There's going to be no doubt about that. But to blame this whole thing on one group of people, that's just racist.
Yeah, he says Minnesota is a well-run state, and that attracts criminals. Well, no, a well-run state wouldn't attract criminals.
Don't you know that the criminals come to the well-run states up here where the Somalis are? That's just the way it is,
right. Yeah. And, of course, Donald Trump called him a retard.
Yeah.
And he says, Donald Trump called me a retard. I wear that as a badge of honor. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right.
Yeah, I've seen that. And then I didn't see the clip. There was a clip where I guess he was on Air Force One and a reporter asked him about that. And I forgot what happened, but I didn't get to see the answer. Did you happen to see it?
I did not,
I don't know if I'm sure he doubled down on it. And he goes, hey, he is a retard.
It is what it is, man.
I mean, it's stuff like that I'd like to see him do less of.
Yeah.
Because it just creates more grief than it's worth. But Tim Walz is in big, big trouble. I mean,
it's $1 billion they've stolen from taxpayers.
That we know of so far. There've been.
Right. And for him to say, you can't blame an entire group of people. Well, what's about 50,000 Somali citizens, and 78 have been charged. 56 have been arrested. 78 have been charged for stealing all this money. they launder it through some offshore accounts and then send it
Goes
to
to
Al
Al-Shabaab.
Shabaab. Which
I read something yesterday, and I'm going to paint here with a big, wide brush. But I read about Somalia, and this has been going on, since the Barbary times. But Somali culture, as a country, has been based on theft for centuries, stealing stuff from ships of other people,
right, pirates,
stealing stuff from other countries and bringing it. And it's just a way of life. And so when they got to Minnesota, they just continued doing what they'd always done, taking advantages of loopholes and weaknesses in government and agencies. And, the guy that starred in that Tom Hanks movie, that Captain Phillips or whatever
I'm
it
the
was,
captain
that's
now.
his brother, huh?
I'm your captain now.
Yeah. That's his brother that was running for mayor.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah. Fateh?
He's a state senator now, but he was running for the mayor of Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And some of this money was being funneled to his other brother. Some of this housing money, some of it was housing security. Some of it was feeding people that didn't. Nobody was getting housed. Nobody was getting fed, but the taxpayers were getting hosed. That's what was happening.
Someone has done a deep dive on Ilhan Omar, who claims she is an American citizen based on her father becoming a naturalized citizen when she was 17. So that people will look into her and said, okay, I guess she's a naturalized citizen, but nobody looked into her father. And there is no record anywhere of him ever becoming a naturalized citizen.
Shocking.
So therefore, if her claim is she becomes a citizen because her father was naturalized, then that claim is
null and
wrong.
void.
I mean, you can't claim that. So she's not even a citizen, and therefore should not even be serving in Congress.
I'm fine with that. Deport her.
What?
I'm fine with it. Deport her. Get her out of here.
Yeah.
Tired of seeing her. And take AOC with her. All right, well, we're out of time. Alpha, I know you're in an undisclosed location, preparing. There's no reason for you to watch football this weekend, so you probably got some other outdoor activities or something you've got planned.
I'm sure I'll find something to get into.
I'm sure you will. So anyway, thank you for being part. Stop right what you're doing right now. Look down at the bottom of the screen. Find the subscribe button, hit it, and subscribe to the Jack Murphy Podcast. And Alpha, thank you for being with us. And we'll be back tomorrow with another episode of the Jack Murphy Podcast.
See ya.
Thanks for watching the Jack Murphy Podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Go ahead, ring it. Get alerts when a new episode drops. And tell your friends about the Jack Murphy Podcast. But only the cool friends, please. Tune in next time for another episode of the Jack Murphy Podcast.